only because you were aiding others.
The original Watchers, too, were selfish. They wanted the knowledge for its own sake, not as a tool to be used. And that attitude triggered the virus.
Uh-oh, the beacon's getting ready to guide us someplace. But where?
Seems to me there's only one way to find out. Shall we go?
Peace, peace. Now it's the vibrate, you know what it is. Just sitting here peeping out how this realm, you know, is really like software of a computer. You know, it's really like a simulation. When I was, what sparked this is I saw somebody sitting out, you know, and probably going through a house's transition, something of that nature. And you know, I felt that vibe of like, man, I would like to give that person $1, you know what I'm saying? Give that person some change or something in that form or fashion. And then, you know, in that instant, it's like, oh, wait, all I got is a card, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no ATM around, you know, it's not like they probably got like a way to transfer, you know, these funds on that level. And I thought about like, dang, you know, it's definitely like computer software where like as algorithms change within this realm, you know what I'm saying, certain rhythms change, you know, having to keep up with those rhythms, keep up with the dance in essence, you know what I'm saying? It's like a never-ending dance. And you know, the different algorithms is literally like different rhythms, you know what I'm saying, different songs playing. And if you can't keep up with the rhythm, you know, you're not going to be able to dance or enjoy the dance, you know what I'm saying? But just seeing how, like, as things continuously change, you know, it's like now it's creating a situation where, you know, certain people, like houseless people, anyone in that position won't be able to, you know, receive help so easily, you know what I'm saying? As like, you know, like here a couple of coins or here $1, because even down to like where, you know, we talk about, you know, cryptocurrency. Like, you know, you think somebody and like somebody sitting outside or whatever got like a Bitcoin app, or they got like a what is called, the one with the fox, you know, or OpenSea app, or, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, like these people not dealing with NFTs and stuff like that. And if you know, now of course, on a deeper level, of course, you could like go and exchange your funds, you know, or buy certain things that could help that person. But again, it's like so much more tougher to help that person, and more so because they're in an old program and they're in a software that's, you know, so old that it's tough for the newer program to take care of it, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And I think about how maturation within itself is a whole different dimension, like becoming mature, and in essence, I'm gonna say along with being mature, you know, just the essence of things changing, you know, like I realized, like, you know, as many DMT trips I done been on and done stripped, you know, the physical being naked and could really see, you know, all of these, you know, understand like how energy moves and how things aren't too far-fetched in essence, you know what I'm saying? It's still kind of like, you know, it's kind of like weird and kind of cool to see like, dang, you know, like I'm actually maturing, or things are actually changing in this realm. Things are actually changing in this realm, in my bodysuit in this realm and in this realm, you know what I'm saying? Because I think about even, you know, on a simple level, like bringing it to the human experience of dealing with, you know, whether it's our environment we grew up in or our different, you know, family members, quote unquote. You know, it's like that one time you was the child, you know, getting treated like a little kid by your older cousins or things of this nature, and then as you grow up, you could become that same cousin, if not aware, or that same family member, where like, all right, you go to treat you know your little cousin as if y'all still like they still that young, but it's like y'all grown ass people. It's a whole different vibe, and even in our experience as souls, transmuting old energies, like, and that's transmuting the old dimension, of like treating somebody like you used to treat them, like say for instance, you know, uh, this is a relative that you only remember being like a little baby running around, and if not paying attention, as things change, your mind frame may stay the same. And again, and that's a part of an ego trying to stay alive. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I have an interaction with my cousin where I'm still trying to treat my cousin like they're a little baby, like when we were younger, then that's within me, because I can only look within myself first and foremost when we're dealing with stuff. It's like that's that ego of trying to be, the bigger cousin, and like that ego is trying to stay alive. So what it does is continuously, whether as it becomes more obvious, it gets more subtle in the way it expresses itself, but you know it still try to keep itself alive in the interactions and the way you speak, and connect with that relative, and it's having to honor, like like, wait, this no longer my little baby cousin, like, what I'm saying, this quote unquote, and just the reality of it, this little cousin or this younger family member is having sex now, could have their own family now. And you start to realize, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I guess, in the essence of how much we have dealt with, say, for instance, most of it comes from the parents, like how our parents just can't see us growing up. Like they just, they're in that programming of wanting to see us a certain way. Now, of course, if your parents are more spiritually inclined or more spiritually aware, they know better than to cling on to this type of egoic behavior. But even still, from the human nature being in this bodysuit and being in this realm, it may still have like a little pinch of that energy of wanting to keep the parent ego alive, and always trying to keep the child, because if the in the parent's eyes, if they could constantly be able to take care of you, that keeps you as their little child, compared to seeing you through a different lens and seeing you as a breadwinner and somebody that doesn't need anybody to take care of them. You know what I'm saying? But, you see how much we, be wanting to transmute and change that energy, dealing with our parents, looking at us as though we're still 5 years old. And then, subtly and indirectly, I just say subtly, be doing that to one of our younger family members without even noticing, and just realizing, again, like maturation, and I'm just using the example from that perspective, but again, spiritual, on all levels, physical, spiritual, because that expression of, growing or changing is a spiritual perspective, regardless if it's being spoken of through a human dynamic, in essence. Having to change and grow, applies to everything. And again, like maturity is like being in a different dimension. That's a whole new space to be, what we may call in this realm the 35-year-old or the 50-year-old. That, of course, that's why we do tap into the essence of knowing that we're timeless. But just in the essence of it, it's like, all right, hey, I've been in this realm for a nice little minute, what I'm saying? There's going to be different things that I do things different than I used to, and having to have that maturity, to recognize that and then apply the necessary changes, what I'm saying? But it's definitely like a whole different dimension. and it's, a change in that sense. And again, full circle with just the changes and shifts within the algorithms within this realm. Again, we get into a space where, you know, now it's becoming about cryptocurrency, or bartering, even getting back to bartering. But it's like things are changing on that level down to the point where, again, I wasn't able to simply give a person any change because it's like I keep money on my card now. You know what I'm saying? It's like things, the funds moving through the internet, so much more now, you know what I'm saying, that being able to, hand somebody a dollar or whatever is becoming, almost obsolete, you know what I'm saying? And again, just seeing how as things grow and change, how certain things become outdated, something that, again, like, you would never thought you see today, like, and that's another thing, again, like, really actually, like, dang, like, things are shifting again, like, you're aware, it's not nothing that's like, whoa, that's so mind-blowing. But again, like, we just like the conscious mind and subconscious mind, we could say we're ready for change, or we know what's up, like, we know changes are coming, but it it's different when you actually experience it and see it and really like a minute, like, it's different from just saying it, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, I could say I'm prepared for the changes, but it quote unquote hit different when I'm actually seeing that I have to actively, make these changes, you know what I'm saying? Have to actively honor the fact that, we really in the experience now where, the truth has to be exposed on a level that, you would have never thought that it would get to this, space in that essence, you know what I'm saying? Or how, quote unquote, quickly or rapidly, the things are changing and shifting, you know what I'm saying? And again, with the help of a lot of Jupiter placements right now, and the Jupiter Pisces energy, like, causing a strong expansion energy, and again, like, just things, expanding and changing, and having one of the main things I feel is like just staying grounded, hence why, one of the importance of like just getting to know ourselves better, because that shifts everything. Most things stem from, most unhealthiness on spiritual journeys stem from not knowing ourselves better, or not knowing how to get to know ourselves better, in essence, not knowing methods of application to get to know ourselves better, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily knowing what inner child work is and what shadow work is, and again, and just the importance of getting to know ourselves, because anxiety about the future is not knowing yourself enough to know what you should be doing right now. Holding on to the past is, not knowing yourself enough to know what necessary changes you could make right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lack of confidence, and then that would stem into not being able to manifest things, come from a lack of being aware of yourself, not knowing what you really like, or what you do like, or what's your passion, or what's your hobby, or what you're great at, you know what I'm saying? When you don't know these things, that's what creates the most of these other, quote unquote, spiritual sicknesses, you know what I'm saying? Or diseases, you know what I'm saying? Not gonna necessarily say a sickness to give it a negative connotation to that extent, because everything serves a purpose, even in essence, getting, quote unquote sick, depending on the moment of sickness, may be actually helping you out, you know what I'm saying? You got sick in a moment where you was about to try to force yourself to do something, and you got sick, and that help for you to slow down and prevent you from trying to move too fast in a certain area you wasn't meant to, but like, yeah, the maturation is definitely like a whole new dimension, and having to honor the fact, of again, like, making necessary changes, because that's another thing too, is like, transmuting the ego the toxic aspects of the ego, which is like trying to overly identify with certain things. You know, it's like by overly identifying with certain things, it makes it tough to change. You know, I think of, a recent little pat myself on the back of like, how much, I, like not identifying with being somebody who talks on YouTube, or not identifying with being a teacher, or not identifying with, sharing information to an extreme, to the point where I feel like I'm nothing or nobody if I'm not doing a video, and having to realize again, just generally, in essence, by taking care of your own health, by taking care of your mind, body, and soul, by harmonizing your being, doing whatever inner work you have to do, you're being of service. If you haven't made it to know what it is, that you want to start a business in, or whatever, you want to express on that level, just always remember, in the simplest essence of it, which simply but largely, just by taking care of yourself, maintaining your own health, you are being of service to everybody around you. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else can take care of your health but you. So the fact that you taking care of it, you making the world a better place. You know what I'm saying? So, not tripping out on if you aware of like, how to be of service in a manner of like, through expressing it through some type of, hobby or business, or, you know what I'm saying? But, I feel like that's basically the transmission in this message, It's like understanding the balance and equilibrium of this experience, and definitely what's been coming a lot lately is, embracing the dream world and our dreams, the balance of, as I speak to equilibrium, the balance of being on a human experience, but, remembering that you're not just human, you're a androgynous energy, that exists beyond this human experience, and again, even with that balance, the balance in between the past or the feminine energy and the balance in between the masculine or the future energy, like being fully present right now, you don't want to treat your earth experience every moment of like, how can I get out of the matrix? Like, yes, you do want to be aware of this, but let's just say that you're so into, again, like you're future oriented, so you're looking at everything as a means to an end. Like the means to end is like how to get out of the matrix, but you're so future oriented into it where you're not being present, and you're missing out on things that you should be doing, things that you actually signed up, or let's just say came into this realm to do, you're actually not doing. And when you transition, may end up, having to reincarnate due to, spending most of the time just being so future oriented and how I'm gonna lead a matrix, that you didn't really take care of what it was you was meant to. So you end up having to stay, although your mind frame was about like leave, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I go into a classroom and the whole time I'm thinking about how I'm gonna leave, or, because again, when you're in school, yes, you're thinking about the steps to graduation, but you have to be fully present in each grade, you know what I'm saying? Got to be fully present in the 5th grade, fully present in the 6th grade, compared to like in the 5th grade, trying to wish and wonder how it is to be a 6th grader, and in the 6th grade, because if I'm doing that much, pushing for the next grade, I won't be valuing the lessons in the grade that I'm in. And that's something, again, now is to vibrate. You are where you at for a reason. That doesn't surrender, and acceptance doesn't mean to settle for the conditions you're dealing with. It just means that, hey, it's here now, at the least accept that this is where you at or this is what you're going through. You don't have to settle for it. You don't have to settle for being houseless or settle for, what I'm saying, not having the things you love in life, but just accepting that moment. Because again, the only thing that exists is your now moment. So in that now moment, if you are without it, then that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to stay that way, you know. And and again, just like I think right now, just refining, all of the insight, from the internal meditations to the, lectures to the books, that have been read, like consolidating and harmonizing all the information, integrating all the information, together and really gaining, a maturation and insight, you know what I'm saying, maturing due to, consolidating or should I say integrating and harmonizing the insight, from the journey. And, right now, you're going to see that things are going to be more so confirmation more than anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yes, you could still learn certain things from, people, places, and things, but it's going to be a lot of just more so confirming a hunch that you always probably had, you know what I'm saying? Uh, so again, like just, seeing that energy, just having to face the fear of, of not wanting to move forward, of like, that fear of change. Like the only thing that remains the same in this realm is that things constantly change, so definitely got to be aware to keep up with the changes, step into that dimension, that new world of maturation, you know what I'm saying, on whatever level it is, on in whatever spectrum it is, whether it's emotional maturation, mental maturation, physical maturation, all the little divisions, but again, it's all, it's all one whole situation. And really, really understanding these things, like it, that's how you know if you get it. If, like, I could say I know everything is one, but if my actions doesn't translate to knowing, having that knowing, then there's more work to do. If you find yourself saying one thing, but then your life, has like a different look to it, you have to keep it real and acknowledge that it's some more subconscious programming to be done in that area, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's the transmission right there. Bringing together the integrating the different parts of the being, becoming whole again. And again, and always treating the experience, our experience as, like being source of our, of our universe, of our vehicle, Like how would my, the universe of my stomach feel about the way I'm governing the whole body? How does, because I may be giving more work. I may be, taking actions that seem like I'm worshiping my taste buds instead of the whole body, and helping out the whole body. Again, like it's you, in essence, being that source, being that balancing factor, that mediator, meditate, medium, middle pad, but being that mediator between all these different expressions, kind of like the five energy, and even having a physical experience, having a physical experience allows for, the mediation of, you know, all these different dimensions and different, you know, energies, you know. But don't be afraid to step into the realm of maturation. You know, any steps, baby steps is better than no steps, you know. And awareness is the first, you know, is the first key to change. So, but that's basically it. Just keeping up with the changes. Yep, staying up with the changes. Peace. Now to vibrate, not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now. Peace.